Hey, what's up guys? We're going to be going over the trimmer section, and remember when I said you can stack your voices, but I saw no way to kind of detune them. It's actually hidden and I didn't really know it existed, and yeah, that was my bad, and yeah, a little embarrassed, but whatever. Worser things have happened, and we have our detune amount right here. So this looks kind of scary, but it's not really that scary. So you know how detuning works, how you can stack things up and get a bigger sound. We'll do this right now as an example. Okay, so right now we have our init mini mono, and we have one saw wave going on. We can actually stack them and detune. Each one of these is a voice, so I'll actually go back. This is our voice, not our voice, our oscillator. Oscillator 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 is here. You can detune it slightly, and the rest aren't on, but I'll just do this as an example right now. So we're going to have two stacks on, and you can tell that there are two stacks on. We can detune the second copy of that oscillator right here. Get a wider sound. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So what we can do then is we can add, say, something wide, but then keep that stacked, or well, yeah, we'll keep it stacked. And we can detune that as well. Which is a pretty cool sound. Voice drift. So this is when we have this all the way to 0. Good tuning, quote unquote. But when gear gets old, the pitch tracking and all that fun stuff, it goes out. So right now you can hear it. Kind of an error ratio of analog synths. It's just kind of just for preference. So if you want something that's really old school and really old sounding, that your dinosaurs used when they roamed the earth, then you want to have lots of voice drift. Detune amount is that unison spread I was talking about. Right, so say if I want to add one more stack, but I want to have that an octave or 2 octaves higher, I can do that, and this is voice 1, voice 2, and voice 3. I completely have like a lot of control over my stacked voices, or my unison. I'll bring this up to 24. Right, so you get some really large, so this is the phase reset of each. So you can't really hear it, but it adjusts the start point of each. So say if we have stacked unison, we can adjust the reset phase of the oscillator. So like the sine or the saw will play a little bit after or before. Transient mode, this is basically your on-off. Let's see. So this affects the first few milliseconds. And and this doesn't work with legato. The effect is seldom obvious, but when attack times are set to a minimum, choosing a different transient mode can make all the difference between punchy and clicky. So, for long sustained notes like this, you can't really hear it, but yep, nothing really apparent, but we know it's there, basically. So we can, we can detune each of our voices, or each of the oscillators in our voice. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and we have 3 stacks here, so we can see the lights on. they are on, which is cool. We have our stack tuning, so we can even have this to say a 7th. Something really terrifying and housey. And our variants, we can adjust, say, each stacked voice or stacked instance of DIVA, because that's what we're doing. We're basically stacking them, and then we're adjusting individual kind of differences. We can vary the cutoff of each of them. To add a bit of warmness, we can also adjust the envelope or the envelopes, the pulse width modulation, which we don't have on, and the glide, which is pretty cool. We get some very large, unique sounds. And yeah, it's quite CPU. It's not too bad on the CPU. And yeah, that is our trimmer section. I knew I should have explained that better, but what we can do, say, I'll give you another example just because I like you. So we'll go back to our trimmer. We have one saw wave, and it's not that exciting, but what I'm going to do is, yeah, these are all, you can double click and smooth them all out. Those are all I need. And say I want 3, and I'm going to have this detuned up here, and then this detuned up here. So instantly have some trance. Well, not really, but what you can do is detune all these. Right, and if we're going really crazy, we can have the last guy. So you basically build somewhat with something that's passable as a super saw with a Moog synth, which, you know, until now I've never done, but, you know, we did it together. And it sounds really unique, and that's what we're kind of going for, is uniqueness. And that is basically how to use the trimmers from this guy. Alright, goodbye. Take care.